All right, everybody, good afternoon and welcome on back. Continuing along our Wednesday, May 20th, about 5 days out from Memorial Day. Got some Margaritaville coming in soon for you guys, at least here in the trading room. Great to see everybody. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. For anyone streaming across social media, they're probably like, what do you mean Margaritaville? Usually ring out the day in our trading room with a little Jimmy Buffett post Memorial Day. So I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing all of us coming up in class this afternoon. Again, for all of our students live in our trading room, we're continuing and finishing rather the phase 1 stock course, lesson number 4, lined up this afternoon, 3:05 p.m. Eastern time. So with that in mind, guys, a lightning round edition of our afternoon meeting. Great to see everybody though. Grant, Andrea, Michael, Jeff, Gene, David, Will, John, Amy, Jerry, Chuck, Kevin, and everyone else. So guys, let's hop into it. The Dow is up 316 points. And as usual, heading into the late lunchtime here, kind of a flat market for right now. Big gap up overnight, and it ran up shortly after the open, but pulled back and just kind of stagnant right now. So what we'll do is really quickly just go from top to bottom. As I'd said with class, just on the horizon, we like to just go right through the percent gainers and losers list. For any of the big moves, of course, like the INO trade, LK, of course, that's topping the losers list right now. We'll cover those very briefly. I know the chat in the trading room has been all about this, the CIDM trade. Right before the meeting started here, I was trying to video record another stock, and I had it up while the CIDM trade was running rampant. So more of an afternoon breakout here. The CIDM broke above major resistance at 150. I know David A in our trading room called this one out. He did pretty good on this trade. He got stopped out at first, but he ended up picking up, what, Dave, like 22, 25 cents on this? Ended up running up very nicely from there, from 150 all the way up towards just about 242 high of the day thus far. Easy to say, I'll put this on our main watch list right now. Not necessarily an easy trade from this point. Perhaps off the breakout from 150 and the trend up from there, pretty easy to follow along. But it got halted at what? I think like 2 times already thus far. Got to be careful, guys, on a stock that keeps getting halted on the way up. Because just as much as it goes up, we know it's going to come right back down. And no better example of that than this fund trade. Talk about a good segue. This fund trade, man, this thing ended up moving up very nicely after the open. Got to switch back to my 24-hour settings here. But yeah, PHUN fund, we ended up seeing this breakout as soon as the market opened up. Got halted like, what, 18 times today, guys? Like 13 on the way up, 5 on the way down. I don't know if those are exact numbers, but it seems like it, right? So this one ended up getting halted at the tops around 280. And then look at the, huge gap down when it reopened. Holy crap. This is something that we do expect at a point, but do we necessarily expect this big of a gap down after? Not really. So that was a nasty drop. I hope nobody got caught up on this last halt as PHUN continued to push. But what goes up does come back down twice as fast. At least that's the motto that Fausto has. And to a great degree, it's true. So the fun is apparently over on this trade. I guess pun intended there. All right, so be careful on this trade, guys, because at this stage, it seems like it's only going to continue pushing lower heading into the afternoon. Boxel, BOXL, this is an old friend of ours. We used to trade this stock more off than on, but we've caught a few big pops on this trade over the years. Let's take a look just on the daily chart. You can see how wacky the daily chart is just across 2018, 2019. This was the big run that we caught back in the early parts of 2018 here, from $4 all the way up towards 16 in 2 days. And again, what goes up comes back down. So we're not trying to swing trade these guys. For what it's worth right now, BOXL, nice breakout going into the early afternoon and held support at 120. It's moved up like 25, 30 cents since then. So, it has a lot of activity at this point still. I don't mind putting this on our list for right now. Maybe it'll be near the middle, near the bottom, but we'll see if there's anything else out there. All right, Ren not doing much. And again, what we'll do is kind of just cherry pick. Let's see, we'll go from volume, we'll go from price. CCCL, 41 million shares. And this was one that we covered up in class, guys, earlier today, right? So for all of my phase 1 students inside our trading room, we ended up covering the CCCL trade in terms of just timing of the day. So with this trade, it ended up moving up towards, 175, 177 high. And as soon as it reopened up off a halt, it popped a bit, but came screaming back down. And around 10:30, 10:45, we typically anticipate well, quote unquote, reversal time. So, this trade ended up just continuing to break. And that's what I had said during the class. I said I wouldn't be surprised if this 120 level breaks pretty shortly. Nonetheless, it did. It continued to plummet. Maybe off of $1, it could be a bit of a squeeze, right? Here we are at $1 now, but that's not to say it's not going to continue to drop. Look at the gap on the daily chart here. So, this is all pre-market activity on the intraday chart. Looking at the daily chart, there could still be some room for this to drop as well. Oh, you know what's funny? The stock that I was recording just before this meeting, the one that I didn't show the CIDM on, it's the SRNE trade. And we'll get to that in a moment. But of course, now it's popping on me. All right. CNET, CNET here. Nice pop at the market open. Double top high the day off 125. Seems like a good setup. If it pops, then I'd say so. But for right now, I'm not going to put my eggs in that basket. CMCM here, though, up 38% still at this point in the day. And I say still because, well, I'm not necessarily looking for a run up on this one. If anything, I'd look for a drop. And you know what? This stock is shortable. So there's some big support that this thing has to cut through here at 287, 286, the VWAP, even at 280. But for right now, I mean, I honestly don't mind just putting this on our list. Again, kind of near the middle, near the bottom with that BOXL trade. I'd love to find, much better looking opportunity. But for what it's worth, tradable stock that came off news earlier today, it is shortable. So if it craps out the other way, it would be a good opportunity. Surf popping up going into the afternoon, pulled right back down though. This DS trade was from yesterday. We were looking at this yesterday, moving up a little bit heading into the afternoon. Pretty disappointing run up, but I guess it was for a bigger picture, right? Run up shortly after the market opened today, and much more active this afternoon than yesterday. But still, for what it's worth, we're not going to put this on our main list. All right, let's cherry pick, guys. Go to a couple familiar names. ALT moving up nicely once again. The stock's been a monster the last week or so, squeezing up, as you could see on the daily chart, from essentially 3 up towards, well, high of the day today was 669, and seems like it's on the road back up there once again. So I don't mind putting ALT on our list here too. Trading 17,000 plus shares per minute right now. So some more volume being pumped into this trade, it seems. All right. Cherry picking, right? Atos checking on this one. Run up from earlier, familiar name. Not doing much now. LEDS, same thing. Hey, all right. Not a whole lot on the gainer side here at this point, guys. Riot, RIOT. A little pop just now. Again, we know my stance on Riot in the afternoons. IMGM, nice pop on this one. Nice, cool. IMGN, look, this one's looking pretty interesting. This is a familiar name. We've traded this stock on and off of news. It's a more so, normally a level 1 to 2 trade. Tight spread, very liquid order book, much like as you could see here. And as you could see as well, it just broke high of the day, testing an iceberg and filled it off at 525. So I guess we'll call this good timing. But yeah, IMGN, definitely. We'll put this on our list near the top, at least for right now. CMRX, not doing too much there. All right, just maybe 1 or 2 more. PMT mortgage stock here, moving up towards the highs of the day, going into the close. I reckon I check in on some of the other mortgage stocks. MIT, MFA. Yeah, it's too slow. All right, I thought there was one more on the gainer side. Familiar name, at least. I thought there was. Maybe not. Maybe so. I don't know. I don't see it. All right, we'll hop over to the losers list. Guys, if there's anything right now that you would want me to look at, just in the chat board here in the trading room, and of course across social media, type it now. Again, we have class coming up at 3:05 Eastern time, so I'd like to just zip through this afternoon list, or losers list rather, and we'll take a look at any recommendations from you guys here. The LK trade, I will take some time to go over this run up at least. So LK ended up resuming trading, pretty surprising, considering yesterday they were saying that they were going to delist it, I guess, to change in tune. So they reopened it up early this morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And, shortly after the open, at least, Fausto was calling this out here in our trading room. He called it out off an iceberg breakout at 275. You could see the line there. So 275 held brilliantly as support, moved up nicely up towards essentially 350. Notice that it hit 349 high of the day and not 350. I bring that up just because, there's no interest to buy at that price. There was no, iceberg order that was filled, no green prints on time and sales. If there's no buying interest at a particular price, what makes us think there's going to be, interest later on? So for what it's worth, this trade is just flattened out. I'm not going to put this on our list right now. I would love to. But again, given the gap on the daily chart, I mean, if this can make a fraction of the run up as it made back a month and a half ago before it was suspended from trading, I would gladly take it. And we did earlier today. You don't want to get too greedy, though. So just looking at this flat trend here, it's not worth it. Maybe tomorrow, maybe later on this week. CYRX, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, you know what? The other one from the gainers list, I just remembered it now because it was on the bottom very quickly. CHK, what's going on with that one? It's up 13%. I'm sorry. I just remembered the stock I was looking for on the gainer side there a bit. CHK moving off 13, squeezing back up a bit. This stock had a reverse split. I think it was a couple weeks ago, much like ACB, Aurora Cannabis. And we know what happened on that trade, at least within the last couple of days. So, CHK already benefited from a huge run up on the daily chart. This was a few weeks ago. For what it's worth, once again, it's moving up nicely this afternoon. I'm going to scratch this from the list for right now. I mean, maybe if this one ends up moving up closer towards 1360-ish, 1365, this last peak here, it seems, I'd reconsider. But right now, I feel like there's just better options right now. All right. Opera, OPRA, not doing much, kind of holding support. OCX, not doing much either. All right, DVAX here down 7+%. It's on the way back down to support at 6. And I bring this up because this was a big stock from yesterday that we focused on. So DVAX came out with good news. Once again, it goes to show that we're not going to, throw a dart on the wall and hope it lands just because good news came out. This thing plummeted yesterday. It was a great short. I didn't focus on it much today. So it was kind of flat up until this point. Nice trend, at least off the last peak, down towards here, 6 support. So, you know what? I don't know if Fausto would put this on the list if he was doing the meeting, but it's a tradable stock and it's shortable. So perhaps if this one ends up re-breaking under support here, it could have a better chance of trying to fill the gap on the daily chart. All right, and then last one here, Billy, which ended up getting crushed. Billy was I think Billy was earnings back on Monday afternoon because pairing up Billy and IQ dumped off as well. I guess just the China stocks ended up dropping off today, huh? Momo is dropping off steadily, I thought. IQ got crushed earlier today. We called that one out. IQ, Billy, HUYA is another one. This one pretty flat here for the meantime. Yeah, I don't mind putting Billy on our list, though. I mean, very big drop-off, so there's range to this trade today. It's holding support pretty nicely, although it's in a channel. It's holding it very nicely off of 3250. So, yeah, this Billy trade will be near the top part of our list here. All right, guys, anything else? See from Terrence, thoughts on Penn, and then from Peter, thoughts on Ren. There's Penn, and then there's Ren. So let's go to Penn first. Penn National Gaming, near the highs of the day going into the close. I do like this trade. I want to check in just on some of the other side list stocks, the gaming stocks, MGM and Caesars in particular. I mean, could be wrong. I feel like Penn's gone up just so much more compared to the other gaming stocks over the last week. MGM seems like it has more opportunity for a potential, pop breakout. That 1650 level is looking really interesting. So I appreciate you bringing up Penn to me, Terrence, because, still perhaps keep that on your side list. I'm going to put MGM on our list instead. So good call either way. And then from Peter M on YouTube, Ren, RENN. Low volume stock, he says. That's just what he commented on. Yeah, I agree. I mean, low volume runner from earlier, it's not doing anything right now. All right. From Jose, CIDM got halted. That's a good question. Maybe it reopened up from the time that I was talking about it. Yeah, 238 got halted. 243 reopened up. It did. All right. CIDM is already near the top of our list heading into this afternoon, guys. All right, guys. Anything else? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I'll run one more scan if it pops up quick. If not, no biggie. I'll tell you, I've been doing a good job this week, guys. Normally, as I like to say, well, I don't like to say it, but it's just a habit. I tend to pad the list up a bit. I tend to put like 12 or 15 stocks on our list at times. I tend to see the opportunity a little bit more than Fausto. He loves to keep it simple, as he should. I've done a good job keeping it simple, at least as good as I can this week. 2, 4, 6, 8 stocks on our afternoon list. That's pretty small for me. So if there's anything else, guys, just we'll look to try and call it out a bit later on. If there's anything breaking out, off of news up or down, at that point, certainly call it out. But start with this list. This will give you a very good opportunity already to try and take a big runner heading into the close. Aside from that, typically around 3:15, 3:30 Eastern time, we'll look to rescan the markets once further and see what else we can get heading into the end of the day. All right, guys. So for anyone streaming across social media, you guys know the deal at this point. If you'd like to learn more about what we offer here at Cyber Trading University, feel more than free to call the phone number down below. One of our education advisors will quickly look to pick up and just provide more detail. Aside from that, though, for all of our students here inside our trading room, I'll post and tweet the picks. And then alongside that, I will post the link for class coming up. One final reminder, guys, phase 1, lesson 4 lined up this afternoon at 3:05 Eastern time. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Take care.